Basketball fans, what is up? And welcome to the All Basketball Podcast, where debates often take place. Once again, I'm your host, Maurice Dixon, just here alone this time, and welcome to another session of the last 10. That sometimes unnoticed column when you look at the standings for the NBA, those last 10 games went for NBA teams, and this could be the last one of these sessions since it's only 7 games left. It's April the 2nd. NBA season is coming to a close. Wow. And good thing is almost playoff time. 82 games is quite a stretch of basketball, especially when you don't get to see a lot of guys play often and guys sitting out, guys getting hurt, but games seem to not matter as much because there's so many. But now it's down to, as people often say, down to the nitty gritty, and people are going to start locking in positions for the playoffs. As far as standings in each conference, you got going to have play-in stuff coming in. People teams trying to secure a spot to avoid the play, and then just secure a play-in spot to get that final 7th or 8th seed. But we're at this point in the season, and before I get to who's been the hottest, who's been the coldest, gotta talk about some games last night. Good stuff to see, good highlights to catch, and gotta go to that Minnesota Denver game on national TV. Double overtime game. Minnesota ends up winning 140-139, extending their win streak against Denver to 6. And that's dating back to when they won those. That would be the last 2 games of. I'm not sure if they play again. They may play again, but pretty much what it is, 6 straight. And that extends back to playoff series last season as well. And crazy game, some crazy stat lines. Jokic put forth an amazing stat line of 61 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. Just wow. Ant-Man on the other side had a big game. What he has specifically, big second half, 34 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Randall helped him out with 26, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. And then Jokic got some help from Aaron Gordon, 30 points on 9 of 15 shooting, and 18 from Brown, and Westbrook, the other guy for the Nuggets, and double figures with 12. So Murray didn't play, and Michael Porter Jr. didn't play. So not a full roster for Denver, neither for Minnesota. They had some suspensions from that incident, spilling into the stands against Detroit. So Dante DiVincenzo didn't play, suspended. Naz Reid was suspended. And but they still squared up for a classic. I mean, Minnesota had to come back and really probably should have ended in regulation. Anthony Edwards had the ball. You got to make your move. I know they came with a double team, but try to push to get it back. Gave it to Randall. He took a step back 3 with a tie game. Like, I guess that's his go-to move. Missed everything. Game goes to overtime. Then, you just seeing 2 different. Ant-Man making big shots. Jokic is making big shots. And then, but you see the mistake from the Wolves, which they kind of survived. The fact that Edwards getting rid of the ball, not getting it back, giving shots to other guys when it's time for you to get a shot. Every time it seemed like the Nuggets needed a big basket. Jokic was commanding, either making the right play to get a guy easy basket or just shooting himself. So And then the critical thing, which involved, well, Ant-Man had the critical turnover, so 17 seconds left. Minnesota's down one, double overtime. Ant-Man loses the ball, makes a bad pass. Westbrook intercepts it. Now, he passes it to Christian Brown. They're running down the court like they need a basket. And Westbrook got the ball with like just under 10 seconds left. And he passes it to Brown. They race down. Brown passes it back. It's a 2-on-1. Westbrook comes up short in the layup. First thing that went wrong here. Then ball goes back down the other end. Alexander Walker's wide open in the corner. Westbrook tries. He had a good game too. Westbrook tries to block his shot, running, stretching out, fouls him with like 0.1 left on the clock. Nikola Alexander hits the first two free throws to give the Nuggets a 1-point lead. Misses the last one. And then that's it to secure it. So big free throws there from Alexander Walker. Terrible play by Westbrook. It's just it was funny what Shaq said after the game on Inside the NBA last night. He said, he said you got to dunk that, but he was pro shoot the basket, shoot the ball there. As far as Westbrook, it only pushed you up 3. Candace Parker was saying, no, it still only pushed you up 3. They can still tie. Dribble out the clock, let them catch you. Worst case, you go to the foul line. Maybe you miss, maybe you split the free throws. Best case, you make both free throws. Worst case, you miss both. Best case, you make it. And Minnesota still has another chance. I don't know if they have another timeout left, but they still have a chance to tie it up. But you don't foul on the other end. I mean, just two huge mental mistakes by Denver there, and mainly Westbrook being a veteran point guard at this point. I mean, you get the steal, you have to know game situation, how much time is left on the clock. You don't have to shoot. They're likely going to foul you. You want to have to step up and make 2 free throws. You don't race down. You don't even give up the ball at that point if you're a point guard. But I mean, same thing over and over again with Westbrook. You just playing without thinking. I mean, ball of energy going one way, but not playing with the right purpose, not thinking the game fully through. I saw some stuff on social media. Just one of the worst things team can do is let Westbrook be Westbrook, because this is what will happen. I mean, he will hurt you on one end, burn you on the other end, and he did just that. I mean, it just seems like him or Brown didn't know, were thinking they were behind, or I don't know what rationale they come up with, or just simply you playing too much 2K. You're not thinking. You just, I got to steal. Let me just go score again and add to our lead. Or you think we're down and we need a basket. But credit to Westbrook. I mean, I know guys always say they're big on his energy, rather have him play. He's going to play hard every time, and that's great. I mean, you want people to play hard every time, especially this day and age, and play often, but I can't have you driving the truck and signs ahead saying the road is closed, or a bunch of brake lights in front of you. You just kind of want to keep going. Yeah, just couldn't be my point guard. I mean, definitely great player, future Hall of Famer, MVP of the league, triple-double king, however you want to put it. But you got no game situation to score, man. It's just simple, and especially being an older player, knowing they're going to need to foul you. And okay, maybe you go down and dunk it. I mean, at least if you're going up, secure it and dunk it. The only way, for sure, even at the NBA for sure, you're taking a layup there. It's wide open, not contested. And his was barely contested. He just came up short on it, which he's done a lot since he's an older player. So you wish he would dunk it, but he's older, so sometimes you just don't have that burst. I mean, games in double overtime. The talent, natural abilities just don't kick in, or just not there like they were in his former days. So then just a foul on the other end. I mean, just a double negative. I mean, people can vouch for Westbrook. I mean, once again, I commend his energy and effort, but when it comes to smart plays, just proving over and over again that he can't get it done. It seems like he may never. It's just who he is. And there, I'll yield on that topic. But great game last night for the NBA. Another good game. Saw the highlights. Memphis and Golden State. Steph Curry, 52 points. I mean, wow. What was it, 12 threes? Let me get the official stats here. I mean, just shot the lights out. I mean, opponents were there, contesting, people like Jalen Wells, whoever else for Memphis, Bane Jackson. I mean, guys were there contesting, but it was just one of those nights where the shot was just wet. I mean, he was just in the zone. As Billy once said on White Men Can't Jump. And when it goes like that, sometimes you have to, especially a guy like that, greatest shooter of all time, greatest three-point shooter of all time, when he's on fire like that, shake his hand and go the other way. And that was a critical win for Golden State, because they keep trying to climb out of the play-in area, and pretty bad for Memphis because they're really slipping right now. But yeah, I mean, some of the shots, 12 of 20 from three, still ended up being too short of his former teammate Klay Thompson with 14 in the game. That's the NBA record. But I mean, Steph shot it well, 16-31 overall, made all 8 of his free throws. Butler added 27, made all 12 of his foul shots. I think Draymond Green had a triple-double. You can see him set and wasn't even looking at the basket, just looking to find Curry because he was so hot. And that's obviously the smart thing to do. Draymond 13, 10, and 12 assists. I mean, now Curry he didn't have a crazy shot like he did a few weeks ago against, I forgot who they were playing, but I mean, guys were there, but he was just on. I mean, and the interesting thing was that the last time he played in Memphis, he didn't make any shots. May have been the game where they got blown. They got beat really bad, like 40, 50 points. May have been that game, but he said he wasn't thinking about it, but I'm pretty sure it was kind of on his mind, or maybe Coach Kerr or somebody, Draymond put a bug in his ear, or someone, and he came out, made sure he was focused, and showed that he was focused, and shot the lights out in Memphis. On the other side, Ja had a good game, 36 points. He made 5 threes. Jaren Jackson, 22. Bane, 19. Rookie Zach Edey grabbed 16 rebounds. But Golden State continues to play well with the addition of Jimmy Butler. His impact has really been huge during this stretch since they got him before the trade deadline. One of the interesting things about the game I saw on the highlight social media, as everybody was going to the bench, Ja Morant did it again, making a gun gesture towards the Warriors bench, and Draymond and Steph saw it, and they kind of show the ref like, hey, and is this guy gonna learn? I mean, I know even the whole thing with think of basketball when it already has a correlation to the fact of gun. Yeah, you shoot a gun, you shoot a basketball, but they're not same word, but totally different terminology, and the meaning, the connotation behind those two statements is totally different. And same word, but just different connotation. And I know guys do gestures, but after Ja Morant, what he did and what he's been through on social media, flashing actual guns, just stay away from it. I mean, fight the urge, my guy. Fight the urge. But and just Memphis they've been struggling. They let go of their coach, surprisingly, Taylor Jenkins, with less than 10 games left. One of the most surprising moves in the NBA, especially as far as a team that was middle of the conference, had a winning record. Jenkins had done a good job with them, but I guess John Company crew didn't want him around. I mean, his whole staff had gotten fired. So as I was listening to another podcast, I found out. So just a matter of time, kind of a dead man walking situation, but they didn't even let the man go to the playoffs. But they wanted the interim who's in there now to come in and change up the offense. And he wasn't, they made the move. So we'll see how Memphis goes forward and see if they can turn things around as the season winds down, because the playoffs are around the corner. They're not playing their best. And when you're not playing this best at this time of year, usually it's going to bleed over to the playoffs, and you're going to be out of the playoffs pretty quickly, or first round definitely. It could go the other way. So, but then you have the whole media thing, because it's a matter of if you're playing well, or is it, on the other hand, you're playing well, but if you get in a certain matchup, all that can go window. So both things can be true. But I guess the worst thing is you don't want to be playing well, because that's just what's going to come to fruition in the playoffs, unless you get a favorable match up and you turn things around. But see if Memphis can get a little momentum going in the right direction before the postseason. And I'll yield there as far as that topic. And I just want a few other things to touch on before I get to these hottest teams. Guys have been shut down already, like Embiid, Paul George. Recently, Zion was shut down. Him and CJ McCollum. I mean, it's been a bad season for the Pelicans. First, it was a hamstring injury, and that just kept. I mean, it just stretched on and on. You like, when is Zion coming back? And then other players got hurt. DeJounte Murray tore his Achilles, and Achilles or ACL, but it's pretty much seizing in the injury. So, and now Zion hurt his back last month, and they want to shut him down pretty much for good reason. So yeah, Zion shut down for good reason. Team is terrible. I mean, just hoping to going to be in the lottery, hoping to get a good pick. But I mean, just 30 games this year after playing 70 last year. I mean, like I said, had the back issue, want to shut him down. I mean, definitely nothing more to play for with what's their record as of today? 21-54 record. It's just (21-54) record. So just with this cat, man, it's just I don't know if it's ever gonna work out. I was skeptical as far as this season, but now in 2020, 2021 season, he won 72 games. He played 61. He missed the whole 21-22 season. 22-23 played only 29 games. As I said, 30 last season, even until a play-in game where he injured that hamstring, and then that carried over through the summer to the beginning of this season. And now just 30 games. I mean, it's just wow. I mean, got the contracts. So I guess the Pelicans, I mean, they're going to stick by him, pick. But, I mean, this, hate to say this guy's cursed, but it's just, body just doesn't seem built for the NBA grind. And then there was an announcement about NBA EuroLeague being put into effect in the near future. I'm not sure how far off, but having a whole separate league over in Europe. Heard they were trying to get the league already over there, but they don't want anything to do with the NBA. So the NBA is kind of going to have their own league. Nothing wrong with that, as they can continue to expand. You have so many foreign players coming into the NBA, pretty much kind of, I mean, dominate the NBA to an extent right now. I mean, just go down the list. I mean, of MVP candidates. I mean, from Shai Gilgeous to Jokic having 3 MVPs, Giannis having 2, Luka been in that running, Wembanyama coming in the near, I mean, pretty much the future face of the league. And so yeah, so this is cool. I'm fine with this as opposed to people wanting 2 more NBA teams. I know you hear Seattle wants a team bad. They want to get a team back in Seattle. Since hockey and the NFL have teams in Vegas, you know, the NBA wants some of that, especially with the way gambling has changed and become so widespread, where you can do it outside of Vegas and everything, and there's more money to be made. But I'm good with 30 teams. I mean, over half make the playoffs. When you look at the standings, you have a bunch of bad teams. You have the Wizards giving up 162 points. I mean, Utah's bad. A lot of teams in the East are bad. Philly, the Nets. I mean, teams sitting players out, tanking. I mean, playing guys a few minutes, then kind of guaranteeing a loss by not playing their best players towards the end, just letting guys who need time on the court and experience, let them play and just play towards a loss that affects standings on the other end. So, I mean, you hear guys saying there's so much talent in the league right now but overall records don't show it. I mean, I think a lot of guys, they like to put a lot of emphasis on skills, which is, oh, these guys shoot so well. They're shooting 45% from 3, or they're able to dribble so well and do all this stuff, make good one-on-one moves. But you have a lot of bad basketball out there still. I mean, compared to other eras, they want to down those eras because certain players couldn't. There weren't as many shooters on the court, or there were more athletes then. There was more of a post presence there. Now you just have big men who pretty much just get spoon fed with a lob where they just, because of the screen and roll play, they just pretty much taking a lob pass and dunking it through. It's not no existence of much post game or post presence. Everything is face up, one on one, and two more teams. I mean, I just think it's just going to water down things even more. They might say people say stuff was watered down back in the day, but I mean, two more teams. You're gonna have two more bad teams. You already have enough bad teams. I mean, you have an issue with guys playing enough, teams tanking, and the NBA is the only league that heard this, and it was pretty interesting to hear. The only league that rewards bad play. So basically, if you're bad, you get to get the best player, hoping that you'll be good. But so that's something they need to fix when these teams just keep losing and getting young talent and don't do anything with it, or don't. Now you have like OKC, they've kind of done it twice where they kind of lost for a while and then built it back up, and now they're kind of becoming somewhat of a juggernaut. Definitely in the regular season, a young core, but they're by far the best team right now in the NBA. Arguably, because Boston has something to say being the defending champions, but two more teams, expansion, nah, I'm out. I mean, every area you're only going to get so much great talent to play in that era, then it kind of caps out. And a lot of the talent is spread over the league very well. I mean, you don't really have any super teams and a stacked deck here and a stacked deck there where you know for sure who's going to be in the finals. So we don't need two more teams. And there I'll yield on that discussion until a later time. Now to the hottest teams and the coldest teams. Obviously focus on the hottest. OKC 10 straight wins. So last 10-0. Boston 9 straight, 9-1. Just came off of a 6-game road trip. Beat up some bad teams. Phoenix, Utah. Respectable team. Memphis beat them, but won the games pretty convincingly. Playing well with the playoffs right around the corner, so you can only respect that. 9 straight wins, 6 games, 6-0 on a road trip. So Boston, the champs, playing right at the right time. 4 games behind Cleveland, who's just 5-5 in their last 10. 7 games left, 6-7. I don't know I doubt they'll catch them. But Boston's right where they need to be, playing well going into the with the playoffs right around the corner. OKC as well. Going to have some more big games coming up for them, but 63-12, best record in the league. Swept that season series against Cleveland. I think they may have split with Boston. I'm not sure. And then you have next in line as far as hottest is Miami after they lost 10 straight. And I think their 10 straight loss was Kay Cunningham with that buzzer beater to off the glass top of the key, from the top of the key, beat them, and then so they bounced back to win 5 straight. I don't think the competition was too stiff. I think they just beat can't remember who they just beat, but 5 straight there. All the play-in, they're pretty much locked into a play-in spot. We'll just see how it goes with them in Chicago having the same amount of wins. Chicago just has 1 more loss, so Then Atlanta's a few games ahead. Orlando's 3 games ahead. So, yes, Miami getting a nice win streak going there. Then back out west, you got the Warriors I talked about earlier. They won their 3rd straight. Minnesota won their 3rd straight. Nothing else really to write home about. The Lakers won their 2nd straight, defeating Houston Tuesday night at home. Now they got a big one against so Golden State at the Lakers Thursday night. Big game. Excuse me. As they'll the Lakers' schedule gets a little tough down the stretch. Only got OKC a couple of times. But could be a big game in the standings as the Lakers are currently 4th and the Warriors are 5th. Just really a two-game difference between those 2 teams. So that'll be one to watch for as far as the Warriors. And the Lakers, coldest team, no surprise, Philly. They 9 straight losses. They shut down Embiid, Paul George, Maxey. It's pretty much playing G League players and role players, so no reason to win. They need to lose enough to, if they get anything outside the 6th pick, then I think that pick goes to Oklahoma City. So they're trying to keep those chances of getting at least the 6th pick in the lottery in the upcoming draft so they can keep their pick. Just disappointing there. It seemed like a season of promise, but a lot of ifs with Embiid's health and Paul George's health. Even though he ramped it up in that last contract year for the Clippers, got a new contract, and it's kind of looking like he's on the way to being washed up. But Philly, not much more to say there. Just wasted season. Just everything just went the worst way it could possibly go. You got Memphis, lost 4 straight. New coach trying to figure things out. And Phoenix has lost 4 straight. Just outside the play-in. Portland could catch them. They could still catch Sacramento or Dallas. And Phoenix, Bill didn't play last night. They got beat in Milwaukee. Booker gave it all he could. Durant turned his ankle not too long ago, so they said at least a week. But their record is 35-41, so that's 76 games. So they only got 6 games left. It's gone wrong again for that big 3 of Bill, Booker, and Durant. This season started off well. They were like 71, 81. It just went downhill. Added true point guard Tyus Jones. Guess that didn't work out. Made some trades, got they added Plumlee, and then eventually traded Nurkic. They made a trade, it's a minor move trade with Charlotte. That's right. They got the guy, is it Richards? I can't think of his name. I can see his face. Got him back, a younger guy back in return. But Phoenix, it's just, I hate to say it, but just keep losing, man. Gordon called it a wrap. Getting to play, and maybe you win a couple, or maybe you to get the have a chance to get in the AFC. But next experiment, that big 3, trying to do that all over again didn't work. I kind of pretty much wrote an article about it on my website covering the game about just the miscalculations of Kevin Durant. That just falls to another one of his miscalculations. Go there and check it out if you like it. So put a lot of time into it. I think you'll find it as an entertaining read. But it's kind of crazy when you look at his career. If he wouldn't have Golden State, I mean, probably wouldn't have won anything. Just how unfortunate things have been with having a foot on the line with the Nets and being up 3-1 on the 73-win Warriors that year and blowing that lead. It just hasn't worked out wherever he's been, and they're talking about him being possibly traded this summer because they can't move Bill. Unless Booker wants out, there's no reason to trade him, just kind of rebuild around him. So as far as Durant, I mean, let's see, Durant 37 yet? I think he is. I mean, kind of becoming one of my favorite players. I'm always like what he's brought to the court. 6'11" guy who can shoot, just something we never really seen before. Shoot like that, be as proficient as he is. Averaging 26 this season. Played in 62 games. Still shooting well. 52% overall. 43 from 3. 84 from the foul line. But just isn't producing wins. I mean, he's 36, so he'll be 37 start of next season. People have been saying stuff, maybe you hearing him trying to get him to Houston or something like that. I mean, they have a nice young core. Definitely need some more experience. It's no need to go near Durant. I mean, nothing has worked out since he worked out well in Oklahoma City. And obviously he benefited very well in Golden State, but everything after that, I mean, these last two stops, Phoenix and Brooklyn, just hasn't been good. Yeah, he's getting buckets and produces points, but it's not really turning into any wins. I mean, then when they get in the playoffs, last year they got swept. The year before that, they gave Denver their toughest challenge, but lost that final game bad. I mean, lost that series 4-2. And I mean, at this point, I mean, I don't know if it's really worth going near Durant. I mean, unless you have another superstar and leader who's going to be there beside him, and he's going to be a great complementary piece, but different from how this thing is constructed in Phoenix. And I don't know where that could be, but and just as far as that, I'll yield. And this is another session of the last 10. I'm gonna yield permanently, folks. That's my time. Appreciate you for watching. Please remember to subscribe if you already haven't to the All Basketball Podcast, found on Spotify, YouTube, iHeart, Google, Apple, or wherever you get podcasts. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching again. And until next time, I'm Maurice Dixon. Peace and be blessed in Jesus' name.